There are 4 types of buyers that every single person can be categorized into. They are the reds, who are driven by results and speed. They are the blues, who are driven by data and proof. The greens, who are driven by relationship and understanding. And the yellows, who are driven by vision and emotion. Understanding these 4 colors has allowed me to sell more than $18 million in sales online and become a millionaire in sales. Now in this video, I'll teach you how to identify each of your prospects' colors and exactly how to sell to them. Because if you don't learn this, you'll find that some calls are effortless and some are impossible to close. But imagine being able to walk into any scenario and know exactly what your prospect wants, how to sell to them, and what's their emotional triggers. Pretty powerful, right? Well, the first step to closing anyone is identifying what type of buyer they are. Most salespeople make the mistake of making the same pitch to every single prospect. But the reality is different people buy from completely different reasons. Some prospects want to see all the data before they make a decision, while others want to know how fast can they get started. I learned this from myself the hard way. When I was first getting into sales, I started with a copywriting agency. I was writing ads, emails, and sales letters. I knew nothing about sales, so I booked my first call and I actually went through a sales training 1 hour before the call on YouTube. The main piece of advice I took away was just ask every single prospect the 5 whys. So I hop on this call with this New York Times best-selling author and I started asking him, why do you want to do this? Why is this important for you? Why do you want to show up for your family? And by the 4th why, he tells me, dude, we're not doing this. He could clearly tell that I was there trying to manipulate his emotions and sell him something. Then my second call was no better. I tell myself, well, I'm not doing the 5 whys again. So I hop on this call, and it was this elegant, beautiful lady, golden AP watch, very beautifully dressed, and I'm telling myself, I'm not doing the 5 whys thing again. I'm not gonna waste time, I'm just gonna jump straight to the pitch. So I said, look, you look very busy, I don't wanna waste your time. Here's what I do. I write ads for $50, I write emails for $100. How would you like to proceed from here? And she says, I want to speak to 5 of your clients first. And then, me having 0 clients so far, no sale again. That's when I realized that sales is just like flavors of ice cream. Not everyone's gonna like the same flavor, and some people don't even like ice cream. So I had to learn how to sell in a different way to different people based on their emotional hot buttons. So after thousands of sales conversations, I've distilled all prospects into 4 colors, and there are 9 types of buyers within these 4 colors. So I'm gonna explain each of them, and I want you to picture one friend each time, one that you recognize that has these characteristics so you can remember them easily. Red prospects are results driven and they come into 2 types. First, we have the sprinters, and these are the people who try to rush you. They ask you things like, how soon can we get started? Or they will say, just tell me what I need to know. Second, we have the status buyer. These people will say something like, we're on the leading edge of our industry. We have to beat our competition. We can't afford to lag behind. Then we have the blue prospects who are data driven. In here, you have number 1, the analyzer type. These are people who want to know every single detail that your offer entails. What are the coaching calls? Who are the coaching calls with? What time are the calls? How many people are in the calls? How many hours of coaching am I getting? They want all the details they can get to make a decision. They're very scared of surprises after buying. They want to know exactly what they're getting. Then second, we have the skeptic type. These people will say things like, this sounds way too good to be true. What are you telling me? They will overthink everything, and they will assume you're trying to pull a fast one on them. Now you have the green prospects who are relationship driven. The first type we have in here are connectors. These people will say, can we meet in person, see if we vibe? Or they will say, I'd love to meet in multiple calls and get to know you a bit before moving forward. These people value relationship and connection, and they're happy to give up time in order to do that. Second is the seeker type. These people need validation from others. They'll always be saying, let me talk to my wife, let me give approval from my team on this, let me talk to my CEO before making a decision. Or they will ask, what do other clients say about you? Or they will reach out to your existing clients before they buy. What they're trying to do is abdicate the responsibility of their decision to other people. Basically, they don't like to make their own decisions. Then you have the yellow prospects who are vision driven. And you have 3 types here. First, we have the dreamers. These people always live in the future and they say things like, my big vision is to create this impact. I want to grow my business from 2 million to 10. You will always hear language from them that that I'm concerned, I'm fearful, I'm doubtful. They will explore the worst case scenario instead of the best case scenario in every situation. They always assume for the worst, and remember, they call themselves realists. Third, you have the commanders. These people will say things like, I'll decide when I'm ready. Or they will say, how customized is this? Can I customize it for my liking? So they feel that they're in control. Now the big question is, how do you know which type are you dealing with? So here's a 3-question filter that you can always use. Question 1, are they fast or are they deliberate? If they talk quickly, they want to move fast and they move to the details right away, you're either dealing with a red or a yellow. If they're slower, more thoughtful, more careful with their words, you're either looking at a blue or a green. You see, each color has specific triggers that makes them want to buy, but also they have specific things that make them run away. So here's how to sell to each color. Let's start off with the red prospects. Remember, these are the results-driven, speed-focused buyers. And the first buyer type are the sprinters, which are very easy to identify. They'll say things like, just tell me what I need to know. How fast can we get started? Just give me the bullet points. I don't need all the fluff. What they value is speed, quick ROI, and zero wasted time. So here's what to never say to a sprinter. Let me walk you through all the details, and I have a pitch deck that I'd love for you to go through. Instead, here's what to say. I love that you're an action taker, and that's exactly why this will work for you. Here are the 3 key results to expect and how you'll see ROI. Basically, you want to reward the behavior you want to see. That's how human psychology works. You encourage the fast decision, but you also extract the buying criteria so they don't come back the next day for a refund. So the other type of red prospects are status buyers, and they are a bit different. They'll say things like, we're on the leading edge of our industry, we want to destroy the competition, and we can't lag behind. We need to move on this now. What they value is being ahead of the competitors, innovation, and being seen as the leaders of their pack and their industry. So don't focus on ROI or personal benefits. Instead, say things like, as you might understand, the leaders in your space, they don't stall, they don't slow down, they move first. Or you can say, do you feel implementing something like this will put you ahead of the curve? Can you see how this is less about showing them ROI and how much money they make, but instead showing them how they will be ahead of everyone else. It's about forward progress, excellence, and being the first in their sector. Now, blue prospects are data-driven, proof-focused prospects. And the first type are the analyzers, who will say things like, how many coaching calls do I get a week? Give me all the details. Can you send me an email with the exact proposal so I can go through on my own? They're very left-brain rational buyers who are driven by certainty and facts. What they value is data, processes, and risk management through information. So never say, don't worry about all the details, just trust me, you need this in your company. Instead, reframe their focus away from the details. So say exactly this when they ask you for more details. That's a very fair question. What problem are we trying to solve by answering that question, just so I understand? When they ask about the price of your product, always connect it back with what do they get. So say, well, the investment is $9,000, so you know exactly how to handle every single objection and you stop losing on sales. How would you like to proceed? You need to always shift them from the rational decision-making mode to the emotional decision-making mode. Because if you leave them thinking rationally, they will never make a decision. Now, under blue, you also have the skeptic types, and they will say, this sounds too good to be true. What aren't you telling me? Or what am I not asking that I should be asking you? Or they'll say, I've heard pitches like this all the time. Prove to me that you're different. They keep placing walls of resistance to test you. What they value is validation, testing the way that you show up and your responses, and understanding what you're not telling them. So you can say something like this: I love that you're being skeptical and you're taking actual time to think about this. Skepticism is 100% acceptable until it starts turning into self-sabotage. This way, remember, you're rewarding the behavior you want to see, but you're also setting boundaries around their decision-making. Green prospects are your relationship-driven buyers. Connector types will say things like, can we meet in person, see if we vibe? Or, I'd love to have a chat with you in person, get to know you a bit. They'll ask about you personally, and they want to build deep rapport with you. What they value is deep personal connection, getting to know you as a person, and face-to-face interaction. So don't force them to buy right away and give them the next steps by saying, well, here's the proposal, which day would you like to get started, and force them into a decision. Instead, how to sell them is you need to deploy tactical vulnerability. You need to care less about the product and the pitch, and you need to show them that you're a real person who's there to stand by their side and not just try to sell them something, but you really try to connect and understand them. They need to be seen, heard, and understood to buy. They buy into the person first, and then they buy the product. Now, the seeker types will say something like, I need to talk to my wife, COO, dog before I make a decision on this. They will also say, what do other clients have to say about you? Can you give me 5 to 7 references I can talk to before moving forward? What they value is external validation, looking at dozens of testimonials, and getting permission from outsiders. So you don't say you don't need anyone else's approval or avoid their need for external input. Instead, probe, clarify, and enable them to make a decision. Say something like this. Can you help me understand, what does your wife have to do with your decision-making process? You can also say, may I ask, whose responsibility is it if the company succeeds or fails? Is it your responsibility or is it your wife's? Instead of accepting that they need to abdicate the responsibility, make them feel that they are the leader and they need to make their own decision. Now, yellow prospects are the emotionally driven buyers. First, we have the dreamer types. People who only talk about their vision, what they want to accomplish, and they care less about their present pains, and they only care about what they want to build. They use words backed by strong emotions and are future-based. What they value is future transformation, emotional connection, and talking about where they want to go, not where they are today. So don't get stuck in specific details or data or too many numbers. Instead, take them through this dream sequence. Where would you want to be in 12 months? Oh, if you achieve that goal, what would that actually do for you? Okay, that's compelling. Now, if you step into this ideal picture of yours, like you're there, you can feel it, you can hear everything. You've accomplished it. How does it feel? Because that's the only thing they care about and they dream of. Now, the fearful types will use only fear-driven language. They will say things like, well, I'm concerned, I'm afraid this won't work for me. I worry, I've never spent so much on coaching before. Now, you can't ignore their fears or ignore their negative experiences. Instead, you shift them from fear of the past and the present to fear of the future. So you say something like this. Well, for you, is it more risky to stay exactly where you are, suffering the problems that you're facing today? Or is it more risky to invest in yourself, get help so you can actually hit your goals? Which is more risky for you? You need to help them understand that the fear of the future is much larger than the fear of the past. Because these people hate loss and losing rather than gaining and winning. So you need to put it on a virtual scale for them to understand. Now, lastly, the commander types will say things like, I'll decide when I'm ready, or I want to see your coaching style first, or they will say, I'll get back to you when I'm ready. What they value is being in control, not getting pushed around at all, and a solution that's perfectly customized to them. This means you should never ask direct yes or no questions that lead them towards outcomes they don't want to be in. You should never try to take away their sense of control. So instead of asking things like, which car would you like to put this on? We want to get to work building together. Are you ready to get started? Say something like this. This was the info that I have for you. What's the best next step for us? How would you like to proceed? Give them the illusion of choice, because they love owning the decision-making process. And when you position yourself as a guy that's right next to them and not as a sleazy sales professional, that's how you close deals. So that's exactly how to sell to any buyer type. But if you want to close deals and make big money, you still need to know sales tactics. So if you want to know how to build a killer sales pitch, watch the video right here and I'll see you there.